I think I got enough to get through the first segment. We will see. We will see what happens to you and me. Can you see where it grows on trees, but never blooms first to go and the last to know? Can't you see there's only one me, and that me is me? Maybe I'll use that in the show. All right, let's get to it, okay? Here we go.
Are you just trying to navigate adulthood in a world that still expects you to have it all figured out? Welcome to This Is 50 with your host, Travis Holmes.
I cannot stand lazy and incompetent people. When I say incompetent people, there's a difference between incompetent people and people that just don't want to try. I guess they would fall under the lazy category. So I almost lost it. And the weird part is I could feel it. Like it started Monday. Now I didn't do a show last week, so it started last Monday. And it kind of worked its way into, Thursday, and then Friday I was like going, you know what? I'm not going to do a show because I'm going to fucking explode. I should have done a show because the next week, it was so hard. It was so hard for me not to explode and not to yell and scream and punch something. Not that I'm a violent person. I'm not a violent person. But, you feel like you want to, I just want to, you get into that situation. So if you're new to the show, this is 50. This is my mental health show. I do this strictly for me. And the premise of the show is basically, you've been a child all your life and now you've turned 50 and everyone expects you to be an adult. You expect everyone else to be an adult too over a certain age. If you're over, if you're at 40, you're still learning, 30, you're a fucking moron. 20, your brain is still mush. Don't worry about it. But when you get 50, you're like, oh, okay, everything's, fermented. Everything's, excuse me, everything, you should have your shit together because you're only going to be on this planet for an average white male here in the United States up until, I think, 77 years old, 76. They might have bumped that up a couple of years. So I'm going to be on this planet for another 25 years. So you would think you would have people that are older than you would have their shit together. No, there's some of them are just fucking. So this is my mental health release for me. I should have done it last week, and I'll dive into what actually happened as far as I almost blew it. I almost, smoke out of my ears type deal. I was ready to blow. I was ready to. So just to give you a little hint of the little things that I had to deal with the past 2 weeks. My neighbor next door, the neighbor that has, I think my wife calls the property that they have next door. Now, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. We have 22 some odd acres here. We have horses and stuff. So I'm a stay-at-home person. This is my job. This is my full-time job. I do this and 3 other podcasts right out of this studio. So this is my full-time job. So I'm able to, take care of the property, take care of the horses, and yada, yada, yada. My neighbor next door has, I think, 18 acres next door. But he doesn't have any farm animals. Oh, I take that back. He's got goats. He's got chickens. He's got a fucking peacock, a peahen. Oh, let me write that down because that fucking drove me insane too. Because I want to talk about that. He's got a peahen as well. Not as well, but he has a peahen, which has led to me almost completely self-imploding. So he asked me the other day, hey, Travis, do you mind if I borrow your tractor? By all means, you're welcome to the tractor, but every time he comes over to borrow it, something's wrong with the tractor. And we have a pretty good size Kubota. We paid like 60 grand for it. We've got all the implements and all that stuff. And he asked to borrow it a while back, about a year ago, and I was like, fired it up, and it run, and then it would stall out because we don't use it that much anymore. So junk got in there and yada, yada, yada. $1,500 later, tractor's fixed. It sits for another 6 months, and something else goes wrong. It's another $600. So I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. Never offers to do, to help out. He'll put gas in it. But he's the only one that uses it. He's used it more times this year than I have in the last 3 years. But I'm a nice guy, sort of. In my mind, in facade, I am a nice guy. But in my mind, it just friggin' So the other day he asked me, hey, Travis, can I borrow your tractor? Yeah, sure. You can borrow the tractor. What do you want to use? What are you doing with it? So I can put the right thing on the back of it. He goes, I want to use your auger. And now, if you don't know what an auger is, it's basically just a big thing that drills holes in the ground. And we've got a big 12-inch one, so it'll do a 12-inch hole in the ground. He's going to put plants in the ground. So we get over there and we get it all hooked up. But we did have to remove the bush hog off of because it's connected to it. That's the last time I used it, or he used it. So I'm like, hey, if you help me get the bush hog off, I'll help you put the auger on it. All right, fine, no problem. So we get over there and we get the bush hog off. Now, he's an airline pilot. You would think he would have some kind of smarts, some kind of ingenuity type thing. I mean, Christ, he pulled an engine out of one Volkswagen and put it in another Volkswagen, and not a Bug or Beetle, like a Passat, like a 2004 Passat. Pulled it out of one and put it on the other one because he didn't want to pay $6,000 for the Volkswagen dealership to put a timing chain in there. So he bought a junker for $2,000 and spent 2 weeks putting a brand new engine in this thing for his kids. So he's got some kind of smarts. So he comes over and, fire up the tractor. I'm fingers crossed because he's like a bad omen when he comes over. Fingers crossed. Fire the tractor up. Tractor works great. Fine. $2,200 later. Back the thing out. And it's got the big bush hog on the back of it. And basically it's a big lawnmower blade on the back of it. And we move it over to where all my implements are. Where I've got a rake. I've got a blade. I've got a bunch of different things. And we go to hook it up. We drop the bush hog. And then we go to hook up the 3-point hitch with the auger on it. And we get it all hooked up. And he's like, okay, so this goes here and this goes here. I'm like, it's like putting Legos together. It's simple. Click, click, click. Put a pin in there and you're done. We couldn't get the shaft, the PTO shaft, to connect. And this is where, this is what started my friggin' implosion. So I'm going to take a quick little break, gather my thoughts, and I'll come back with a little bit more. So stick around. I'll be right back. My dad doesn't help with my insanity here. Sanity, insanity, whatever you want to call it. We have, when he first moved into the house, my dad said, I'll buy you something. What do you want for Christmas? I'll give you $1,000. You buy whatever you want. Because he felt generous. And I said, fine, Dad. And I said, all right, well, we need a new refrigerator. Well, we don't need a new refrigerator. My wife would like a new refrigerator, so we bought a new refrigerator. He ended up paying for the whole thing. Oh, shit. $3,200, brand new refrigerator. My wife wanted the barn doors up top, the deli drawer, and then the freezer down below. Little did we know how much complications that was going to cause in the family. Because my dad, his whole entire life, has had the classic, 1990s, 2000 freezer on one side and the refrigerator on the other, and the doors closed just fine. With all this new stuff, one door opens, the other side opens. There's a cheat door in the front, a small door. So if all the stuff you use all the time, there's a little small door in the front. And then the deli drawer where you can put your deli stuff, and you can make that a freezer if you want. Or you can make it, from 47 to -10 in that drawer if you want. If you need the extra space type deal. And the problem is he can't remember to close the doors on the refrigerator because there's a locking latch mechanism. One door's got to go fold inside the other one. So you got to give it a little, bump or something. So I had an alarm on my phone that would beep from Samsung, deet, 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 deet. You'd hear this alarm, refrigerator door is open, it's ajar, or whatever they say. I'm like, Dad, you don't hear that? Huh? You don't hear that noise? No, what? The door's open. Oh. So it took him about 2 years to figure that out. What's happened now is the deli drawer down below, I know I'm getting, this is strictly for me, so I'm not doing this to entertain you guys, but if you're entertained by it, by all means, take it and run with it. It's basically a molded plastic basket that drops into the deli drawer. You can slide the little panels around, inside, borders or whatever, the guardrails. You can make it wider, you can make it smaller. My dad's got this side on the right-hand side. If you're facing the refrigerator, he's got the right-hand side. My wife and I had the left-hand side. So he puts all his lunch meat in there. He puts all his fucking Lunchables. Yes, he eats Lunchables. $17 for a Lunchable when you could take $5 and make the same goddamn thing with cheese and crackers and a little bit of cured meat or whatever. Sausage, salami, whatever. No, it's just easier for me. All right, fuck it, Dad. I come home from Florida, as you guys know. Oh, by the way, the house has sold. It's not done. The ink hasn't dried yet. It's not completely done, but the house has sold. We have a buyer, and we're working through the process now. So thank you very much, and my condolences to everyone out there who had to suffer through me going through that. I get home from Florida, and I'm like, why isn't the deli drawer closing right? So I'm looking to see, and there's packets of cheese and a bunch of other stuff just kind of crammed into the deli drawer. My dad doesn't have a whole lot of room in the refrigerator because he I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. It's a different story for another day. And I look on the right-hand side, there's a clip that holds the molded plastic tray basket into the deli drawer shelf. And it's broken. I go, what the fuck is this? Refrigerator's only 3 years old. So I pull the drawer open and I look. My dad must have gotten impatient or couldn't figure it out. I mean, he's 79 years old. Couldn't figure it out. So his key to the problem as far as the drawer won't close, I don't want him to yell at me, is him just slamming the drawer. In my mind, this is probably what happened. This is not what happened, but this is, in my mind, this is what I'm thinking what happened. He's slamming the drawer enough to get it to close, and there was something jammed in there somewhere, or something had fallen behind it and broke that clip off. So now the tray sits in there kind of cattywampus. And I'm like, and the drawer won't shut completely. And when I came back from Florida, I'm like, oh God, I was gone for a week and this happens. And how long was this? Does this happen on day 1 when I left? Or day 7 when I came back? Like the day before? I didn't even notice. Yeah, I know, Dad. Incompetence. And I go, well, I told my wife, I said, babe, the clip fell out. And I said, here's the clip. I'll glue it in. I just need help because we have to dump everything out of the tray and do all that stuff. She's like, well, let's just put a zip tie on it for now. You know what, babe? You know what? That's an awesome idea. Let's put a zip tie on it. So we put it, square the drawer up. She runs a zip tie through the broken little channel there and zip ties it, cuts it off. And I'm like, okay, well, it still wiggles a little bit, so maybe it'll work. And my dad, a couple days later, he's making his lunch. He's getting all his lunch meat out of the deli drawer, and he closes the deli drawer and just leaves it. And he walks away. And I look down, and I can see that the deli drawer is shut on our side, and his side of the drawer is still sticking out like it's not closed all the way. It's sitting crooked. So, Dad, huh? the piece, I don't want to say you broke it. I didn't say that to him. I said, this piece on your side is broken. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. It's on your side. Make sure when you close the drawer, you pull the tray closer to the front so it squares up so the whole entire drawer, both the tray and the drawer, can slide and close. Why do we have to do that? Oh, fuck me in the ass. Please, take some names. Because when you leave this drawer open, air gets in here. Explain the basics to him. Air gets in here, circulates around. I said, when you pull the freezer open, you wonder why there's all these crystals and stuff, these ice crystals on all of our stuff here in the bottom drawer, in the bottom freezer. It's because air's coming in here and it's freezing down below. No, the crystals are because you got the freezer on too cold. Too cold. I think it's at -4. No, I'm sorry. Take that back. I stand corrected. It's at regular 4. regular 4, -4. It's at +4, 4 degrees above zero. Normally you want to have it around 10, but I got to put it at 4 because he fucking can't close any drawers. Ugh. Have I lost you yet? I'm losing it. I am. I almost exploded. I'm going to take a quick little break. One more time. Well, I say one more time. We got an hour-long show here, so bear with me. But I'll get into what actually caused my explosion, almost explosion, when we come back. So stick around. I'll be right back. One thing that I enjoy doing is just normal cleaning. As a child growing up, I always was not allowed to go outside to play unless the kitchen was that was my Saturday chore. The kitchen had to be completely clean, wiped down, dishes put away, dishes washed at the time, so on and so forth. It was so bad. I say it's so bad. I hated it so bad that my grades were kind of slipping at one time. So my mom created this program that if I had an average of an A or B at the end of the week, I got a list of stuff that I could do. Like if I got a B, I had a column of 13 things, and column A had a column or several different things on column A that were a little bit more valuable than column B. And the way we got our grades, or my grade, was my mom told the teacher to staple all my work for that week into a packet, and my mom would do like an average. Oh, this is an A, this is a B, this is a C. She would average all together, and what the average for that was, if it was a 3.4 and below, I would get from column B, or 3.4 and above, I would get from column A. Let me tell you what, that changed my whole entire perspective as far as doing good in school, because what was on column A? Not cleaning the fucking kitchen. That was a column A thing. And I would work on it every week. I don't have to do the kitchen this week. The problem was, if I didn't do the kitchen that week, the kitchen did not get done. So my mom would get upset, and my dad would get upset, and hey, dishes are everywhere. But you know what? Travis doesn't have to clean the kitchen. Didn't happen often, but when I achieved that goal, I appreciate it. I rendered in it. So when I'm here at home, I clean the kitchen no matter what. I'm like if I got to clean the kitchen before I can do anything. One of the things that I've learned, cleaning the kitchen, wiping the counters down and stuff like that. My wife, she'll help with the kitchen now and then. She's got her own stuff that she's got going on. My dad, he does the dishwasher, and we'll get into that because that got in on my case too. I know this is a very, very domesticated show this week. One thing I came across when cleaning, and I do our bathrooms and stuff, my wife and I's bathroom, is mold armor. Are you familiar with that? Mold armor? Our shower that we're getting ready to rip out, it's one of those single walk-in, 3-piece showers where you can walk in. It's plastic or fiberglass or whatever it is. It came with the house. What the fuck are you going to do? We're in the process of getting that ripped out and putting nice tile in there and all that. But in the meantime, it stains. It's our water. We're on a well, so it's not like the best water. I mean, it's delicious water, but it does have minerals and stuff in it, a lot more minerals than normal. your city water and stuff, so it does leave like a residue when it runs down and drains and stuff. So I'd like the mold armor, and I'm spraying it in there, man. And it's not the actual smelling of the mold armor, because it does smell kind of like bleach type stuff, but it's when it's done, like everything's done around the toilet, around the shower, around the vanity tops in the bathroom and everything, it has a good clean hotel type smell. It's not like Fabuloso where everything, just covers up the smell with, lilacs and roses and stuff. It has a clean, like, hey, this smells like it's been disinfected, for lack of a better term. And my wife came home one time, and our shower curtain liner on this piece of shit fucking walk-in shower that we have, I sprayed that because, shower liners get a little moldy and stuff. And I'm spraying that, and I'm like, oh, look, it's all clean. It's all nice and stuff. And I must have just sprayed it. My wife came home from work, and she goes in to take a shower. She's like, God, I'm dying in there. What do you mean you're dying? She's like, I'm almost asphyxiated because of the goddamn bleach smell. I said, it's not really bleach, though, is it? She's like, to me, it's burning my eyes. It's burning my nose. She's like, do me a favor. Do not do this when I am home. Okay. I won't. But I like it. Not that I sit there and revel in it. When I'm done and I step back and look at the room, I'm like going, you know what? This room is clean. I can smell the cleanness. I don't smell like I'm pissing and shitting on the floor like some fucking third world country or something. No, it smells new. It smells clean. It's got come on in, don't be afraid to take your shoes off in the shower. That type's not in the shower, but before you get in the shower type deal, like jail or something. And another thing that my wife caught me off guard by saying, we saw a video on TikTok, and you take TikTok with a grain of salt. I mean, we're on TikTok. We're over at Be Podcast Famous over on TikTok. We also have a YouTube channel. This is 50 on YouTube, so you can check us out. You can see the whole entire video over on YouTube. We'd love for you to join us over there as well. You can either laugh at me or maybe I'll help you in some way. We saw a video on TikTok. My wife has a real hard time relaxing after work. We've tried, melatonin. We've tried Tylenol PMs. We've tried ashwagandha, whatever that new chewable medicine balls. I don't know. Whatever it is. I can't even say it twice and make it sound right. We've tried that. We've tried, sleepy time tea. We tried all this stuff. One of the things that the video said, if you eat a kiwi every day or every night at 7 o'clock before you go to bed, after 30 days, your body will be completely detoxified and you will sleep better than you ever have since you were 2 years old and blah, 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 blah. So my wife and I, she likes to watch my TikTok videos while she's going to sleep. We're sitting there together. Aw, she's drooling on my shoulder. She saw that and I said, well, you want to try that, babe? She's like, yeah, I'd like to try that. So, as you guys know, I go grocery shopping every Friday. Today's Friday, and we broadcast this show every Friday at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, we've been doing the Kiwi. And I actually set an alarm on our Alexa. And it's so stupid. We were doing something, my wife goes, who the fuck's talking in the bedroom? I go, what are you talking about? She's like, shh. I hear someone in the bedroom talking. I said, oh, I forgot. I told Alexa, Travis, here's your reminder to eat a kiwi before you go to bed. Boom, boom. Travis, here's your reminder to eat a kiwi before you go to bed. It's at like 9:30 at night. I go, oh, that's my alarm for us to eat a kiwi. She starts laughing. I said, okay, kiwi time. Here we go. We're in the kitchen. We got a big old 12-pack of kiwi. And I cut the ends off. And my wife cuts the ends off. And then she starts skinning it. And I said, what are you doing? She's like, I cut the skin off. I said, the skin's the best part. It's like eating a baked potato. I eat the skin on a baked potato because that's where all the vitamins, that's where all the minerals are. Vitamins and minerals are in the skin. And then, the flavor and all that stuff. She said to me, I don't like eating it, the skin. I said, why? She said, Reminds me of like girls' coochie hairs. I said, what? She's like, girls' coochie hair. She's like, I don't want to put that in my mouth. I said, okay. What does that say about me? I said I wanted to eat it for the minerals. I'm not eating it because girl coochie hairs. Oh yeah, give it to daddy. That type deal. She's like going, oh, I got you, didn't I? I said, well, babe, I don't know if you think more or less of me, but I don't mind eating the skin. I don't mind the girl coochie hair in my mouth. And we just kind of walked away and kind of laughed and looked at each other. But yeah, so anytime you see that, that's what my wife said about Kiwi. So I'm sitting in the kitchen. Oh no, here we go. It's a Domesticated Show. And my dad's we bought him a single, not a Keurig, but you've seen them. They're like $20. You can put a pot in there and it makes one cup of coffee. It was like $20 from Walmart or something. And the little on-off switch, if you want a normal brew or I'm going to get this flying, a normal brew or a bold brew, the lights on are blinking back and forth. Red, 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 red. Ding dong, like a train crossing. I said, Dad, are you ever going to fix this thing? I don't know how to fix it. I look over and on the very top of the coffee maker, I said, Dad, it says right here, how to fix this. Well, I know, but it's been like that for over a year now, so I said, okay. This is why I want to strangle people. This is why I almost explode. I'm going to take a quick little break and I'll dive into this conversation. No, believe me, you're just like going, what the fuck? So stick around. I'll be right back. So I'll get to the conversation that I have with my wife that almost blew my top about the neighbor trying to borrow the tractor. Was not successful because of one little thing, and I'll dive into that here in a little bit. So you're just gonna have to wait. You got other stuff that are leading up to this. My implosion. So back to the coffee pot maker. It's a small little thing. It's whatever Walmart brand is. I think something Basics or something like that. And the little lights on the side were blinking like I said, a railroad crossing. It's just red, 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 red. And I looked and I told my dad, I'm like, it says on top how to clean it. It needs descaling. I tried, Travis. I tried. What did you do to try to fix it? I ran vinegar through it. All right. There you go. All right. Good start. And then what'd you do? And then I ran clean water through it. And then what'd you do? The lights are still on. I'm like, okay. Did you tell the coffee maker that you ran all this stuff through it? Well, what do you mean? The coffee's just making coffee. The coffee's just running hot water through a system and it's spitting it out, right? When you're descaling it, Jesus Christ. It's like talking to a fucking child. When you descale it, you have to reset it. When you change your oil in your car, the car does not know that you just changed its oil. You have to tell the car, hey, guess what? Reset your oil timer thing, whatever it is, back to 0 because I just changed your oil and start again. So I sat there and literally, like in the kitchen, I was writing, I had take notes on something. I was writing something for another show and I was taking notes and stuff. And he runs the vinegar. He goes, you got white vinegar in here, don't you? I'm like, yeah. So he grabs it out of the cabinet and pours about a cup and a half into the thing. A single coffee mug full. Runs it through and then runs the water through and runs the water through. And he goes, look, the things are still blinking. I said, now, Dad, tell it. You have to tell it there's some kind of code or something you got to push on the side that lets it know that you descaled it. Well, what is it? I look at the top. It says, when done descaling, make sure you press both buttons for a maximum of like 3 seconds and it'll reset. So I grabbed this little fucking thing. It's it's like $20, and we're having this fucking conversation that I'm getting ready to fucking strangle him. So I hold the two buttons down, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, pull it apart, or pull my hand off it, pull my fingers apart, getting ready to pull my fucking dad's neck apart. And it goes, ba-doop. I said, look, fixed. And the only reason why I told him to descale it is because I went to make a thing of coffee with the lights blinking on and off, and it worked fine, but, it's kind of like running a car out with no oil in it. It finally stopped. It would not make coffee for me. So I made my coffee, and I walked away or something, and I said, Dad, don't worry about the grounds. I'll because I do a ground. It's got like a pod where you can add grounds to it instead of buying those little pods. So I said, Dad, don't worry about that. I'm going to make another cup of coffee with it. I'll add some grounds to it, and I'll make another cup. Well, I just throw them down the sink. It's a deodorizer for the garbage disposal. I said, you do what? Oh yeah, I got a guy. I got a guy in Florida. When I was living with your mom down there, he said throw the coffee grounds down the garbage disposal. It's a deodorizer, a natural deodorizer for the garbage disposal. And I said, how long you been doing this? Since I've been here. 3 years. I said, I think I remember telling you not to do that the first year you were here. Do you remember that? No. Alexa, is it okay to throw coffee grounds down the garbage disposal? It is not recommended to throw coffee grounds down the garbage disposal, as it could clump up and create some kind of whatever sludge that could ruin your pipes and clog up and cause problems in your garbage disposal and whatever and so on and so on. And I said, did you hear that? Yeah, but it said it said that you could, right? And I said, yes, but it's not recommended because it could disrupt your garbage disposal. And blah, 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 blah. I said, do I have to say it again? Do I have to have Alexa say it again? No. And then he gives me this fucking smile like, I'm an idiot. I said, this is probably why I had to replace the goddamn garbage disposal last year, because you were doing this. And I asked you not to do this. Fucking child. So I had to buy a new garbage disposal last year, and I said, Dad, anytime you throw something down the garbage disposal, you just can't let it sit. Well, my guy said, your guy's probably fucking dead. So, son of a bitch, that meter's just creeping up. It's just creeping up till, you ever seen like telethons, and when it gets to the top, all the lights and everything go off, and yay, we made it. That's my fucking mental health is going up and up and up and up. And when it hits that little ball at the top, it's going to go explode, and all the red is going to be blood. It's going to be pouring out my eyes and pouring out my head. So we get a package in the mail. I know it's Pick on My Dad Day, but this is the Domesticated Show. We got a package in the mail from, I don't know, it's not Amazon, it's from Factor. Do you know what Factor is? My wife was doing it for a while, where she would go in and pick out meals, frozen meals. Well, they say never frozen, but whatever. They come in frozen. And they were good. If you want to, you can set up your menu through Factor. Your first box is free, and then you got to do a subscription for like 6 months or something like that. Every box is like, I think $75, something like that. And each one has like 8 meals in it. So it's not too bad. It's like, 8 something and change. I don't know how to do math very well. But they are, 400 calories and 600 calories. If you want, low carbs, they can do that. They want keto. You want this. You want, high protein. You can do all this stuff. Low sodium. You can pick out all these different meals for dinner. They also have a breakfast thing and yada, 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 yada. So I guess, I know what happened. There's no guessing about it. My wife got my dad on it. And basically, if you share it with someone, you get a free box. So she got a free box and my dad got a free box. And he had it, and this is like a couple years ago, 2 years ago. And he tried a couple. He's like, you know what? I really don't like the vegetables because they're real vegetables. And I say real vegetables. They're not frozen from like Marie Callender's. They're not from like Banquet's dinner or something like that. You know, that cheap processed vegetables or whatever. They're real vegetables in there. He's like, I don't like them. All right, Dad, you don't have to have them. So, and my wife, I said it was getting a little too expensive for us, you know, $80 every week or something like that. And I go, you know, we're not saving that much money on groceries. Let's just go ahead and cut this out. If we were saving money on groceries, by all means, you know, me and the money and doing all that stuff. So we forget about it. A couple years go by. All of a sudden, this box, this Factor box, shows up on the doorstep. I went into my wife. She's working in her office. I said, babe, do you buy more of these Factor things? And I, you know, got it. It's got 8 meals in it. And they have those frozen gel packs in there. And it's all insulated. And I threw it up on the table. And she's like, no. She's like, who ordered that? So I go in my dad's room. Dad, huh? Did you order this? Well, oh, God. Here we go. It's getting higher and higher. That meter's getting higher and higher. I was, you know, they sent me an email saying that, you know, welcome back, or we have a special thing of welcome back. And in order for me to see the meals that they had, I had to put in my credit card and reactivate my account. So I ordered it by accident, I guess. All right, Dad, I understand. No problem. We've all done it before, done something stupid like that. I'm not going to beat you up about it. No problem. I said, do you want to eat these? No, I don't like them. I'm like, okay, I'll eat them for breakfast. They're great. I'm been running every morning. Running now. Out of 4 miles, I probably run almost 2 miles. So give me some credit. I'm doing something with myself. I'm not sitting there in a fucking chair drinking beer in front of a microphone all day. Whoops, am I? Whoopsie. If you're watching this here on the YouTube channel. I said, I'll eat them for breakfast. A week goes by. Ding dong. Go to the door. There's another fucking box there. Dad. Huh? There's another box out here. This Factor stuff. Did you order another box of something else? I'm thinking maybe he picked out like breakfast stuff. Maybe he picked out lunch. Maybe he picked out something else. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. He goes, oh, shit. I don't think I canceled it correctly. Jesus Christ, Dad. Well, and that's what I'm worried about. He's got all this idle time sitting in front of his computer. He does his little chores in the morning. He gets on the side-by-side. That's another story that for another day. He's driving around. He feeds the chickens. He cleans the barn. I say cleans the barn. Takes a blower and blows out the aisleway of the barn from hay and clippings and stuff that's in the barn. Comes back up, goes, and it's all on a side-by-side. So he's not physically walking anywhere. Property's too big. Goes out to the mailbox, gets the mail, turns around in the street, comes back in the house, parks the side-by-side, and then walks in the house, and that's it. That's it for him for the day. He might come out and do the dishwasher and stuff, but that's as far as his activities. I said, you bought another box of this stuff? Yeah. I'm like, he's got all this time in front of the computer. I don't know what he's doing or what he's buying. He bought a couple little odds and ends stuff. Nothing nothing over like $40. Not like he's blowing his whole entire inheritance and stuff, or my inheritance. I say my inheritance. All the money that he made on his house and all that. He's buying like little odds and ends stuff. Stuff that it's kind of cool to have. Like the chip clip thing that opens a bag of chips and then seals it at the same time. You know, that little heat thing. That was kind of cool. He bought that. Kind of a pain in the ass, but still, it's kind of cool. He buys cat food for the cats outside. $17 for a big old bag of cat food for all the strays and stuff that we've harbored here on our property. Just little odds and ends stuff. I'm afraid that, he's going to do something rash and irregular as far as, hooking up his credit card to something that's just going to suck all the money out of him. Hopefully he's smart enough to do that. But yeah, we had another box of Factor. And he's like, I don't want them. I'll say, well, fucking, I got breakfast for the next 16, 17 days. I think there's 8 in a box or something like that. So he bought it twice. Where are we at here? And another thing. That meter's creeping right up. My neighbors, where are we at on time? We good on time? Yeah, we're good on time. My neighbor sent us a text the other day. I say the other day, probably 3 weeks ago. Hey, neighbors. And it's a group neighbor chat. It's me, my wife, the neighbor guy, and his wife. So it's the four of us. Hey, just to let you know, we have adopted a peahen on our property, so it's going to take some time for it to, acclimate to the property. So if you see a big bird walking around, it's ours. I'm like, all right. My wife goes, what's a peahen? I said, oh man, I've heard it before. What is it? Alexa, what's a peahen? It's a female peacock. Peacock? Peahen. Pea vagina. Pea vulva, or whatever they call it. Coochie hairs, that type stuff. Jesus Christ. So I said, yeah, I've seen it over here a couple times. The other day I went outside and I said, Houston, we have a fucking problem. I didn't say fucking because they're very, very religious over there. And I'll tell you what happened with this peahen when we come back. So stick around. I'll be right back. My dad was making one of those Tostinos pizza in the air fryer. We showed him how to use the air fryer. Pretty harmless, right? Yeah, air fryer. We used the little liners, little wax like parchment paper liners. Throw that in there. Makes cleanup a little easier. We also bought. I say we. These are the things that my dad buys. The silicone dish that fits inside like a molded dish. Great buy. Works great. Put your chicken in there, whatever. Pull it out. Because he hates cleaning up. That's the thing. He hates cleaning up. You can pull it out, throw it in the dishwasher, pull it back out, and keep going. Rinse the grease off of it. Don't dump that down the drain, along with the coffee grounds. But the other day, I come in the house from outside, working in the yard, and I go, I smell something burning. And I look and I see the air fryer's on. I'm like, oh, my dad's making something for lunch. It's lunchtime. It's, suitable. Then it goes off. And I wait. I don't see my dad come out, and I pull the air fryer thing open. Just the paper's in there. Dad, did you make something in the air fryer? Uh-huh. And he's sitting there with, half a Totino's pizza. I said, is this your, side item? He goes, what is it? I said, the paper fucking stuck to the top of the air fryer, and it started catching on fire, Dad. Huh? I said, you didn't smell the smoke? There was smoke coming out of it. That meter's going up. Going up. Oh, yeah, that happened to me before. Okay. So I caught it this time, right? Oh, yeah. Be careful, Dad, just be careful. I wasn't mad. I said, Dad, just be careful, make sure that you hit off. He goes, yeah, I thought I hit off. And my medication was working well at that time. So I was like, I didn't fly off the handle. I'm like, yeah, Dad, just be careful. Okay. So I'm outside working in the yard, like I said. And I see this big white bird on the property. When I say bird, looks like a chicken. But big, big. Well, that's not, you know what a rugby ball is? Rugby ball? The body's about that big. I said, what the hell is this? I go, oh, this is the fucking peahen. Found it. I said, your peahen's over here. A couple days ago. But today, when I went outside, let me backtrack a little bit. When I went over to my neighbor's house, and I said, I had to borrow something or do something, or I forget what I was doing. I was making small talk. I normally don't go over there on purpose, but I go over there. And I said, there's a neighborhood in Orlando, Florida, small little town called Winter Park, Florida, and the outskirts of that, they have a huge problem. There's 30, 40 peacocks just roaming the whole entire neighborhood. You can't touch them, can't do anything to them. The problem is they see the reflection in the cars in the neighborhood, and they're picking at the cars, their reflection. And he's like, oh yeah. This peahen walks around our cars all the time, looks at herself all the time, walks around. I said, yeah, I said they've done some damage to the vehicles and stuff, and there's nothing they could do about it. No, yeah, well, maybe I should get her a mirror or something. Yeah, They don't make a whole lot of noise. They got no one to talk to. I said, maybe you should get a mirror for her. 2 days later, I'm mowing the lawn, and I'll put the picture of what I found, so you know I'm not lying, on the This Is 50 Facebook page. So if you want to see that, join us over there as well. You know what you see, or you know you're on the right page when you see the logo. And this peahen is standing on the hood of my fucking Chevy Silverado high country. You know, paid $100,000 for this fucking truck, and it's standing on the hood of my vehicle, pecking at the fucking window with its claw feet on the hood. That's the whistling blowing out my fucking ears. So I took a picture, and I said, Houston, we've got a problem here. Oh, yeah, well, he got out, and he's on your... Sorry about that. Okay. I said, sorry about that? And I texted back, and I said, not to be shallow, but your bird is sitting on my hood scratching it. Okay? Not to be shallow. You know, I know nature, let nature be nature. She's like, my husband will be home here in a little bit. I'll send the kids over there to go get it. Okay, how long is this going to take? Because, you know, I'm not going to, this is not my job. I'm in the middle of mowing the lawn. And when I say mowing the lawn, I'm strapped into a ZO turn. You know, I'm doing the property and then, you know, zing, 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 zing. I'm not going to sit here and chase this bird off my property when I got other shit to do. I should not be doing this. So he comes over, and I'm sitting on one side of the property, and I pointed at him like, I told you about this the other day. He's like, I'm sorry, man. He's like, I'm sorry. He's like, my wife thought you got it off your car already. I said, what? I don't have time to sit here and do this, man. This is your job. This is not my gig. You brought this animal to our, you know, place. This should not be my gig. This should be your responsibility. If you can't do it, then I'll put the fucking bird down or something. I don't know what the fuck I said. I wasn't mean or anything. Believe me, I wasn't mean. In my mind, let that boil on the stove for a little bit. So he gets it off, and he's like, well, you know, let me know if you have any scratches or anything on the hood of your truck. I said, well, I'll look at it in the morning. You know, I got to get this shit done before the sun goes down. I'm my side of town. I think I got a song there. So before that, a week and a half before that, he wanted to borrow my tractor. Like I started the program, I said, fine, no problem. Every time you come over to borrow my tractor, it always costs me money. I don't know why, but it does. He made a joke. Oh, you know. So we dropped the bush hog on the back of the tractor. We got bricks and stuff laying around. You put the bush hog on it. Disconnect everything, disconnect the PTO, which is the stuff, the implement. If you don't know what a tractor is, it's basically a gear that turns the things that runs behind the tractor. So we hook up the auger because he's going to put in blueberry bushes all over his property so we can have blueberries all over the place. And he needs my auger to get through the Carolina clay and all that stuff. All right, fine. We hook everything up. The shaft that goes from the gearbox of the auger to connect to the tractor is stuck. It's supposed to slide in, it's supposed to slide out, it's supposed to slide in, you know, to make up for the difference, the length and all that stuff. It is freaking frozen. So we try to pull it apart, me and him, and I'm like going, I said, man, it's not going to work. I said, it's stuck. He goes, okay. I said, so I'll leave the tractor here. You can work on this and fix it if you want. I said, other than that, it's going to sit right here until I'm ready for it. I said, I'm not going to use this for another month or two. All right. He goes, I said, worst case scenario, I have to go out and buy another shaft for this stupid thing. He's like, worst case scenario, I'm going to have to use a pickaxe and a shovel to get through the dirt. And I'm like going, oh, really? So I look it up online. It's $175 for this piece. I said, God damn it. Another thing I got to fucking spend money on something I'm not even going to use as many times as my neighbor's been using it. So I go up to, and props out to Aggie Center. I think it's Ag Center or something like that here in North Carolina. It's a huge facility, and they've got every single part that you need for a tractor, for anything. And if you've got a farm, big scale, small scale, It's called, I forget, I think it's called Aggie Center, ARGI Supply. Sorry, Ag Supply Center. I'm probably fucking that up too. Anyways, huge place. Thank God for these people. So I walk in there just to price one out. And I'm like going, hey, this is what I'm going, this is what's going on. This is, and the guy, old timer. Oh, love to see those guys when they know shit. When they know not to throw coffee grounds down the fucking garbage disposal. And I'm talking to this guy. I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. I've sprayed the AB blaster down there to try to, I got a tap, a punch and a tap. And I'm trying to separate the two and so on. And I gave him the whole thing. He goes, well, I'm not going to do a voice for him because he was an awesome guy. And he's like, well, you could do this and do that. And this is your option here. And we need to know if, if you can get that off there, remove that bolt and bring it in here. We can get you a new one. They range anywhere from 125 to 179, depending on the length of the thing. And this guy's about the same age as my dad. Huh? I can barely set the place on fire with an air fryer. And this guy's giving me the story. He's like, yeah, I work here part-time. And my wife, when I'm not here, and he's giving me the whole spiel and everything. He goes, what you can do, listen, try this first. I said, okay, I'm all ears. Essentially, the mechanism is two shafts that are one's inside the other. It's a big, long pipe. The smaller pipe is inside the bigger pipe, and it slides, and it's like an accordion type thing. Anyways, he goes, hook up the bottom to the PTO. And grab the other side, disconnect it from the gearbox up top, and pull, with a ratchet strap or hook it to a tree or something like that, and pull it apart. And if it doesn't come apart, then come up here and buy a whole brand new one. It's rusted solid. You can't do anything about it. I said, okay. So I told my wife this, and I pulled it apart and everything. I got it all fixed and everything. I got it all lubed down. I got it all stroked out and everything. The problem that I'm having is that when I told my neighbor, hey, you're welcome to fix this if you want, my wife was arguing with me, well, that's not his responsibility. Well, what do you mean it's not his responsibility? He wants to borrow this. I don't need to use it. If he wants to use it, let him fix it. She said no. No, he's borrowing our stuff. It needs to be 100%. I said 100%. Every time he borrows something from us, I got to pay another fucking $1,500, $700 to get something fixed. I'm not paying another $200 to fix something when he, a gentleman who can, transfer one engine to another engine, can fly a fucking plane and land it several times in a day. You want to use this thing? Take it to your 42 by 42 fucking shed that I gotta fucking look at. 2-story shed, this office building, whatever he's built next to our property, on the property line, by the way. You've got all this shit in here. Take some time. Say, hey, you know what? I want to borrow this. I'll take this to the house and I'll work on it and get it working for you, and I'll put it together for you, as good faith, for you let me borrow this thing. My wife goes, no. I said, what do you mean no? It's be a good neighbor, fix the thing for him, and then let him borrow it. I'm like, I feel like I'm getting the, pardon the pun, the shaft on this one. She said, babe, I said, all right. She's like, we need it anyways. We have to do the front entranceway to the property. We have to get all the plants, 200 and 300 some odd plants. I said, oh, fuck, I'm not winning this fight. I'm not going to fight with you, babe. I'm not going to fight with you. I just know that I'm getting the short end of the stick here. So, sure enough, like I said, the guy at the Ag Center said, do this. I got the side-by-side because I don't want to fire up the tractor. It eats a lot of money moving that thing around. Got the side-by-side hooked one end up to the tree, put a ratchet on it, and I'll put this on Facebook too. You can see that I did it. And I pulled it apart, and I'm like, holy shit, it fucking worked. Took my time, brought it up to the garage, got some emery cloths, sanded the whole entire shafts down, both inside and out, lubed it all up, put it back together, fixed some broken pieces that were on there, the protective coating and all that. But I was like, God damn it, why? I shouldn't be doing this. I should, but I should not be doing this. I should do it for myself, yes. But if you want to, hey, can I borrow your thing? Oh, it's fucking busted. Who was the one guy, the one cartoon who would borrow stuff all the time? Oh, Homer Simpson would borrow shit all the time. Hey, your thing's broken, and give it back to Flanders. That's what I felt like. I felt like Flanders. Idly-o. Anyways. All right, guys. Did I wear you out on that one? I wore myself out. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to me work all this stuff out. I'll talk to you later. See you. The video is gonna... It's getting up there. It's getting up there. All right, guys. See ya. Take care. Bye.